What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Zoe, No Days Off DFS, here to bring you guys that NBA slate breakdown for the 6-game NBA slate over on DraftKings today. If you guys are new here, make sure you guys go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the content I do drop over here on the channel, and drop a like on this video if this video or any of my other videos help you guys win some money. It is trade deadline day. Trade deadline. But none of that matters. You know why? Because guess what? The Oklahoma City Thunder had the best thing that happened today, and that is the fact that Chet Holmgren, that 7-footer down over there for the Thunder that only played 10 games to start the season, the best trade deadline news that could come out, at least for my team. But the rest of the league, I'm sorry, y'all should be shaking. We will finally get to see the full strength Oklahoma City Thunder as we continue this historic run that they are currently on. Historic. I want to say after last night, we are 40-9. 40-9. Number one in the West, where you're seeing everybody is loading up. They are trying to figure out how are we going to beat the Thunder. That's what they're doing. They're trying to figure out how they're going to beat the Thunder, but it's not going to matter. It's our year this year, bro. It's our year. It's our year. And Shea came out last night, dropped another 50 bomb, was down at the half, and you blinked your eyes. They were up by 16 within like 3 minutes of the start of the third quarter. Just boom, just giving it to him. Shea, super efficient as always, just amazing. Honestly, it's crazy watching the Thunder play, watching the growth, any all-star snub. He's not getting it this year. All that. Honestly, after this week, I really do feel like he's putting that nail into the coffin in regards to this season I am the MVP. Shea's winning it this year. No questions asked. Like it's a given. Just go ahead and give him the award. But not gonna keep on rambling about my Thunder. Not gonna talk about the trades and stuff like that. Might talk about it on tomorrow's show and everything. We got a slate to break down. We got news, of course, as always. What slate don't we have some news? Hopefully the audio is pretty good this time in this video. Again, I know I had a small hiccup yesterday, but I believe that I have fixed it in regards to the issues from yesterday. Looking at it, I was like, there's no way that my mic is truly effing up. It's the software, man. I don't know what it is about Windows wanting to continuously turn down my mic. Windows is turning it down, not OBS, Windows. And I have to go in there sometimes and turn it back up. Don't know why, but hopefully everything is good for you guys in this. If I do sound a little loud, like I said yesterday, just turn it down. But all right, Dallas taking on Boston. We probably, might see Anthony Davis play today. He was present at shoot-around today, so got to keep an eye out on that right there. Derek Lively is still out. Caleb Martin, I believe that's who that Martin is, or KJ Martin. He is not playing today. Dwight Powell not playing. PJ Washington is out as well. Just welcomed I'm not going to say what the gender is, but just welcome a baby to the world. So PJ might still also be out as well. Over the last couple games, they have been starting Dante Exum. Now Max Christie off the bench exploded last time out, so definitely would want to know if maybe Christie might have worked his way into the starting lineup over Dante Exum and whatnot. Kind of crazy that Exum is getting minutes over Spencer Dinwiddie, who they have had normally as that starting two with the rotation stuff they got going on. But definitely keep an eye on that right there, because if Anthony Davis isn't good to go, then that starting lineup is going to be that. We're going to see either Prosper or, who I think should actually be starting, Najee Marsh into the starting lineup. On the Boston side, they're not on the front end of a back-to-back. They're not on the back end of a back-to-back, but we have Drew Holiday as a game-time decision. I personally think Drew Holiday is a game-time decision simply because he is the most likely candidate to be traded from the Boston Celtics, just to help get them underneath the tax cap or whatever. You do know that the Boston Celtics, they are currently selling the team, all that good jazz going on for them. Everyone else over here looks like they're good to go. Fully healthy Boston Celtics. Houston Rockets, they are still without Fred VanVleet. Tari Eason, he is expected to be back today. He was only sat out last time because they were on the back end of a back-to-back, so I would imagine he will be back into the starting lineup. Right over here, it has Jalen Green as a starting point guard. We know that is false. It is Amun Thompson who is the starting point right now. Jalen Green still plays the two, even though he does handle some ball handling responsibilities, but let's not read too much into that. That doesn't matter. Over on the Minnesota side, they are on the back end of a back-to-back. Now, typically on the back end of back-to-backs, what happens? Mike Conley is normally sat. So I'm going to still go with that assumption that Mike Conley will be sat. I do not expect to see Conley play here today. I expect this to be Nickeil Alexander-Walker as the starting point guard. As much as we want it to be Rob Dillingham, it is not going to be Rob Dillingham anytime soon. That should be Nickeil Alexander-Walker at the starting point guard position for Minnesota. Other than that, they're just still without Dante DiVincenzo and Julius Randle. Orlando also on the back end of a back-to-back. Right now we got Cole Anthony. I don't believe that he started last night for them. I want to say it was still Anthony Black that got to start, but for whatever reason we have Cole Anthony as the possible starting point guard here. Jalen Suggs still doubtful to play. Gary Harris and KCP probable for them to be out tonight just due to the fact of it is the back end of a back-to-back, and hell, who knows, they might get traded. On the Denver Nuggets side of thing, they are also on the back end of a back-to-back. Aaron Gordon was rested the last time that they were on a back-to-back, and we saw them move not Schroeder, not Watson, but Zeke Naji was put into the starting lineup over for Aaron Gordon, and we got to see a pretty big game from Michael Porter Jr. Speaking of big games, Michael Porter Jr. last night, amazing. Could have went for 70 plus. Could have, honestly, if you would have had a core of just the Nuggets of Joker, Porter, and Braum last night, you did pretty damn good, especially going up against the Pelicans. But definitely want to pay attention to see if Aaron Gordon is going to be out or not, because that will open up some value. And the Nuggets, they are running a pretty tight rotation. Golden State Warriors also on the back end of a back-to-back for them. They did make some trades. They did, for whatever reason, got Jimmy Butler, got rid of Andrew Wiggins, which to me, I think that was a flop. Miami definitely to me won the better end of that trade right there with that, because I don't see what Jimmy Butler brings over what Andrew Wiggins brings. Younger, definitely. You don't win that championship. And Steve Kerr even said it. They don't win that championship in 22 without Andrew Wiggins. That's a fact. I know Wiggins has been going through some stuff over the last 2 seasons in regards to, I want to say it was his mother that passed or his father, but just family stuff had been going on for him. So, of course, not mentally there. You can't blame him for that. But to trade away and send him down to Miami, who now has a pretty decent to me core that you really truly do have down there. Tyler Hero, Khalil Ware, Bam Adebayo, Jaime Jaquez, Nikola Jovic, Andrew Wiggins. Like, that's not a bad, especially in the East. Now, we ain't gonna talk about the West. In the East, that is not bad at all to have down there to really kind of what you could say build yourself around. But with the Warriors being on the back of back-to-back, I wouldn't be surprised if Draymond Green, who had been missing quite some time with injury, wouldn't be surprised if Green was to be held out just for this. But interesting to see how that goes, just because they have been missing players. Tracy Jackson-Davis has been out the last couple games. Moses Moody was out last night. Santos, he might be out. Of course, they still don't have Kuminga. So definitely pay attention to that news right there. Hopefully we get something throughout the day. But either way, Pod and Buddy Hield being the starting lineup, that's pretty great over there. And then, of course, Steph Curry. Los Angeles Lakers over there for them. Austin Reeves, Rui, LeBron James, still no Luka. Luka, even though it shows up here green, Luka is not expected to play for the Lakers until Saturday. That is when they're expecting him to make his debut. Unless something changed within the last 24 hours, I do not expect Luka Doncic to play. I really, really, truly do not expect for him to play. That'll be crazy if you go ahead and pretty much rush him into the system. Save him for that Saturday game. That's really where I think that they should go ahead and debut him. No need to going up against Golden State Warriors or back-to-back who are going to be shorthanded that they should kind of handle without him. Give him another day with the team, get some practice in and stuff like that. But it's the NBA. I'm not a GM. They're more likely to do what they want to do. Sacramento Kings taking on Portland. They're on the back end of back-to-back for Sacramento. We got to see the new look with Zach LaVine. They got, honestly, mollywopped last night by the Orlando Magic. Jonas Valanciunas has also been traded from the Washington Wizards over to Sacramento. I have no clue what the hell they're doing, unless they are legit going to maybe start J-Val and Sabonis, who I do know they do play together on the national team. So maybe that might be what they're trying to do. I have no clue. Portland, only missing Matisse Thybulle. That's it for them. And then last but not least, Indy taking on the Clippers. No news to report over here for Indy. Everybody's good to going back for them. And then the Clippers, pretty much everything is good over here for them as well. Sorry, guys. Head on over to DraftKings, the site I play the most on the site. If you guys don't got an account and you want one, check the link down in the description box below so you guys can get that deposit max bonus and join your boy over here on the king. Now we're going to look at how you can possibly win $100,000 by playing $18 into the 300K fadeaway. If you guys have missed my soapbox rants the last couple of days, I say time and time again, this is just a lottery ticket right here. But if you want the best bang for your buck, play the single entry stuff that they have over here. There's a $12, a $27, a $40, a $50, $100, and then I want to say there should be another $225 or $250 single entry contest. Play those right there. I promise you, you have I'll give it 6 out of 10 chance of cashing in that versus trying to cash and win this like this, like straight up, just being very, very honest with everybody on that. You make more bang for your buck by playing in those contests right there versus playing in this. Unless you're max entering this, then I mean, it is what it is, but you never know. Lightning can strike, and even a blind squirrel finds a nut. So let's find some nuts. All right, pause. On the Dallas side, big thing we have to know is Anthony Davis going to play. I fully expect for Davis to play. It's going to be interesting to see. And this is really cool because now we finally get Anthony Davis with the power forward eligibility. Before it was just straight up center, really sucked. But moving forward, we should have him as power forward / center, which would be great whenever we have, of course, Joker on the slate, Embiid on the slate, Giannis on the slate. Well, of course, those are the players that really, the eligibility really just effed it up, where you couldn't play Anthony Davis, Joker, Wemby, like those things like that. So really great to actually have that for Anthony Davis. 10-5, I will say that is, I think, a little bit rich. Kind of, we don't know what we're going to truly get from AD. I do want to see, of course, it's a pretty good test going up against the Boston Celtics. Honestly, who are they going to have to be able to defend that? Because you're running out a big lineup with Anthony Davis and Daniel Gafford. Tatum's going to be able to do the best that he can, but unless the Celtics decide to shift everybody up, start Al Horford, so we have Al Horford on Anthony Davis, because Al Horford is actually a pretty decent defender. That'll be the only other thing maybe they might do. So maybe we could see Drew Holiday sat today or something like that. But outside of that, Anthony Davis, you can give it a game, or you could probably get him at low ownership and just see how it looks out there with that form. Outside of that, if AD is out, of course, I am going to want to look towards Daniel Gafford, Kyrie Irving. Those will be the main guys. And then depending on who actually starts, if it's going to be Max Christie, who played amazing off of the bench last game, 32 minutes in a brand new trade, 33.75 fantasy points, looked really good out there. They did, of course, like I said, start Dante Exum. Maybe they're trying to get his trade value up. 20 minutes out there, 22.75 fantasy points, playing right there around that 20-ish minutes mark. Maybe he can get up here in a pretty decent spot in game going up against Boston. Wouldn't mind him at that 4K price tag. That's not bad at all. Then, of course, Kyrie Irving, 8,700. I do typically play opposing guards going up against Boston, and this will be a spot that I can see myself getting to. All the shot attempts, everything that he's going to have out there, we already know what it's going to be. Quentin Grimes is expected to make his Sixers debut on Friday. But yeah, you definitely can mess with Kyrie Irving, Daniel Gafford. If AD sits, if AD doesn't play, I still might mess with Gafford right there, especially just because they are kind of shorthanded. Klay Thompson, this is your GPP option to play right here. Got to see how he's going to acclimate with all these new players and stuff and the rotations and stuff that they have. Definitely really a big GPP option. PJ Washington's still out. I really do think that Najee Marsh should be more the play that you look towards over Prosper if they start him, or Edwards. Would rather get to Najee Marsh, who does show that he can actually get us more fantasy point production and upside whenever he's out there. On the Boston side of things, everybody over here for Boston looks really good to me. Derek White, he's back in rhythm. He's playing very well. 6,300, 30, 34, 36, 34, 30, 35, 38. Really great fantasy point numbers that he's putting up for us. He's scoring again. We already know that he can make a rebound, plays good defense. 6,300, love the upside for him. And if we get Holiday out, that just boosts it up even better for me. Outside of that, kind of scroll up, sorry. Jason Tatum, he's balling over his last couple of games. 46, 66, 52. If you can stay right there in that range, keep on getting me up to those 50s. This game stays close. JT for 3. We're going to be hearing that over and over again tonight. Brown, I know I normally like playing him when he's below the 8K range just because he typically just pays it off better. But I can see ourselves looking towards that direction. We expect the game to stay close. 28 minutes last game going up against Cleveland. 33 fantasy points. If he played his normal 35 minutes, I can imagine him getting over 40 fantasy points. I can still see myself getting there if I don't want to pay up for Tatum. Just worried about who Tatum's going to have to guard and what he's going to have to do. I can definitely see getting the 8K for Brown. And then, of course, Kristaps Porzingis, you're playing against a drop big and Daniel Gafford. The play, like I will continue to say, I'll ride it till the wheels falls off. Yes, it didn't hit last time versus Cleveland, but still shot attempts were there, just didn't get it. I will still take him for 2 threes, 15 points. I'll go right back there. And then 7,500, I like it. The upside, he is not injured. He's playing. He's healthy. 35 minutes. That's very, very good. You're going to need him out there on the court, considering the big lineup that the Dallas Mavericks are going to be able to run out there. That's really good for me right there for him. And if you want to mess with him, I would say Jrue Holiday, if he plays, it says right shoulder, but I really just think it's more for trade. But if he plays, that 4,500 price tag, that's really kind of cheap for the upside that Jrue Holiday can give us if he's knocking down the shots, which of course is just always the big thing with him, if he's knocking down the shots. But definitely makes a really good GPP option, sneaky type play that you can get to over there. That I wouldn't mind. Houston taking on Minnesota on their back end of a back-to-back. Over here for me, Amen Thompson, de facto, just like, yes, the usage, everything that he has, and I'm pretty sure he's going to want to redeem himself after the flop that he had last time out going up against the Brooklyn Nets, because that was honestly on him with that last second turnover. 8,400, the price hasn't gone up after he just went out here and dropped 64. This was on the back end of a back-to-back. Don't mind going right back to him. Minnesota, they play very little defense, and he's going to be drawing the Anthony Edwards matchup. He's going to be out there defending him. I can see him probably maybe picking some pockets or getting some block shots, things like that, just making it hell for Anthony Edwards. And then also on the other side, he is pretty much running the point guard. The assist upside that he has, 8,400, that's just really cheap to me right there. Not really gonna mess with Şengün, even though I do think that he can play definitely 10 times better than what Rudy Gobert will be able to go out there and do. But I would much rather just get to like maybe Tari Eason, 5,200. I don't hate that. We seen last time out, played 34 minutes in that game, 29 fantasy points. I go right back there to him. 52 is just kind of cheap for what he can actually give us with the upside. I do like that for him. Now, interesting thing to note was that they started Aaron Holiday last game, and then out of the half, Reed Shepherd started over Aaron Holiday. If we can I'll say GPP straight up for him. 28 minutes, 34.25 fantasy points. The kid's been lighting up in the G League as well. They're finally giving him more shine, more minutes. I would have him in my player pool just as a GPP option, kind of like how we look towards Ken Whitmore, who goes out there, he gets those minutes, and typically steadily, if he's getting 20 minutes, he's balling and giving us some really good upside. I would have to do the same thing for Shepherd, just because very much a boomer bust is something that you would. Sorry, y'all, just dropped the mic. Something that you would want to play in this type of game if you're playing like the 100K up to first. That's a low owned play that would be able to take that down for you. Outside of that, Jalen Green definitely can go there, but if he doesn't have a good scoring night, it's really not going to be able to pay it off. I really just like the upside better on just paying up for Amen Thompson right now currently. On Minnesota side, like I said, they're on the back end of back-to-back. With Mike Conley more than likely being ruled out, of course, I am going to have a lot of interest in Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and then the direct pivot off of Nickeil is going to be Rob Dillingham, because we know that he will get minutes as a backup point guard and things like that. That nature, really do wish that he can play more minutes or just start. That would be really cool to see, but they are going to start Nickeil if they do rule out Mike Conley. Played 26 minutes last night versus Chicago, 24.25 fantasy points. We know he can go out there and do whenever he's given big minutes. Really good defensive upside for him, and then if the shot's falling, it's typically going to be a good day. Outside of that, I'm not going to talk about Anthony Edwards. 9,700. You want to pay up for that for the stud, be my guest. I do think that there's some other studs that we could look towards instead. We got Portland. They've been playing really great. Some decent plays over there. Simons, things of that nature. The Lakers, Austin Reeves, I'd rather go ahead and pay up for that, or LeBron James. Los Angeles Clippers and the Indy, Tyrese Halliburton. So there's better guards that we can get to besides Anthony Edwards coming off of a back-to-back, even though he did go out there and light it up versus the Bulls. 69 fantasy points, 49 actual points. You can chase that 37 minutes, but I'm not going to chase that right there. Still decent play. You can get there. I will say, again, I do like Jaden McDaniels. Last night, 27.5 fantasy points in 37 minutes, 5 of 10 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3. Definitely can see myself getting there. Just his defensive prowess. I like the upside that he can actually bring. And then I don't really like the matchup for him here for Naz Reid, but can't ignore 36 minutes, 52.5 fantasy points. Just amazing. And like I said last night, why am I going to pay up for Rudy Gobert when I can come down and get the dual eligible center that also plays the center spot out there whenever they do sit Rudy and Naz, who is a better shooter, more inclined and used in the offense and things like that. It would be the same thing again here for me tonight. I would rather play Naz over Rudy when it comes down to it. But like I said, really the main ticket play that I would get from over here would be Nickeil Alexander-Walker, as long as he starts over there for them. Everyone else is not too high on the pecking order, but someone that I can consider. Orlando Magic on their back end of back-to-back taking on Denver. Interesting thing for them is that Paolo, since he came back, hasn't really balled or done too much for them. But Franz out here hooping. 44.25 fantasy points in 27 minutes, 12 of 22 from the field, looking amazing out there. And I actually like the spot for Franz. I like the spot for both of them, Franz and Paolo, just because it is the Denver Nuggets. They have been playing some pretty poor defense over their last couple of weeks. And we just saw Zion, limited minutes, went out there and dropped 20 plus points on them. Looked very good out there in his limited time frame. Trey Murphy, the game before, he popped off going up against them as well. CJ McCollum, I want to say he even dropped about 20 plus out there on Denver as well. So I definitely don't mind, especially getting them on. But both of these teams are on the back of them back-to-back. So don't really have to worry too much. Not too many minutes were played for these young guys over here on Franz and Paolo. And then if you're going to tell me Cole Anthony's going to start, who has been balling and playing very well. I want to say last night, still a fantasy point per minute. Didn't go out there and give us the 43, 42 fantasy point outing that he's been giving, but still the upside is definitely there. And if he's going to actually start here, I definitely don't mind getting up to a Cole Anthony at that 6K price tag with a 40 plus ceiling. That's really good, especially going up against Denver on a back end of a back-to-back, who's more than likely going to sit people, run a tight rotation. Yeah, we'll definitely take that all day. If I got to choose between the studs, of course, literally just how they're listed, Franz over Paolo would be how I would go right there. Definitely don't mind Goga. We do know that even though the Joker, he's great in everything that he does. Yes, he is. Still, opposing centers have been able to have really great games going up against him. Goga, 5,300, 23 minutes, 29 fantasy points, 20 minutes, 28 fantasy points, over a fantasy point per minute producer when he's out there. Definitely wouldn't mind looking towards him as a possible play from over here. And really, that's kind of going to do it for me. Unless we get word like truly that they rest like KCP, Gary Harris, then that is going to bump up plays like Anthony Black and Tristan Da Silva. That's when I'll look towards those guys right there. Other than that, I'm not going to force them or anything like that in that nature. On the Denver Nuggets side, we're not going to talk about Nikola Jokic. There's no reason to. You guys already know the Joker's the Joker. Went out there again, dropped 70 over there on the Pelicans, 70.5, 7. Like, it's the Joker. That's it. Outside of that, I really do want to know if they're going to rest Aaron Gordon. Like I said, they did rest him the last time on the back-to-back, and so I would imagine they would do that here. So we should get Zeke Naji in the starting lineup again. Definitely would make for a value option in play if you want to go there. But I will say, I do like, of course, Christian Braun. I don't mind getting up there to him. Michael Porter Jr., if you're going to tell me he's going to go out here and just light it up, this offensive juggernaut load, like this offensive just explosion from him these last two games, I understand it's the Pelicans, but if he's in rhythm right now, he's still at home and he's feeling good, 6,400, I do not mind playing that at all for him right there. I understand that Orlando, they are technically a good defensive team, but still MPJ, if he's feeling it, man, I like that. 6,400 definitely makes for a decent play. No Westbrook, definitely the shots are there, can rebound the ball still and everything. Definitely do like that. But I will say my favorite over here, outside of course, the Joker, would be Christian Braun. I like that for him in the upside. And of course, the value that we can get from Zeke Naji. And you already know that if Aaron Gordon's going to be out, of course, more minutes for Julian Strawther, who they will play off the bench and give him some decent run. Outside of that, really, I'm not going to force anything over here. I don't care too much to get up to Jamal Murray, 7,800. I can get Cole Anthony on the other side for the same upside that Jamal Murray can get me over here. So that'll be honestly where I go. Everyone else, not even worth the time of day to me. Sacramento Kings lost their game last night going up against Orlando. Of course, they're trying to integrate integrate Zach LaVine into the team. For me, Portland is actually a good defensive team. Portland has won 9 out of their last 10 games. They are balling. They're playing very good. It'll be interesting to see how this game looks and goes. For me right now, if I'm taking anything from Sacramento, unless someone gets ruled out or held out or we get some type of word about something, of course, it'll be Sabonis, Monk. That'll be where I go. I think really great GPP options for you would be DeRozan, Keegan Murray, just because it seems like they might have been affected with Zach LaVine coming in here. Now, they lost last night. I'm not too worried about the minutes because it was somewhat a blowout, so didn't have to worry too much in regards to the minutes. Everyone over here for me currently, until we really truly understand and figure out how this team is going to work and pan out, is all GPP for me. I'm not too heavy on anybody from the Sacramento Kings. Now, on the Portland side of things, I do like what I see from Portland and how they're playing. The young guys playing very well. Anthony Simons, he's looking pretty good out there. Scoot Henderson, as long as this boy understands and learns how to stop fouling all the damn time, Scoot is good. Now, I will say he is still playing off the bench. Some nights he'll play 28, 30 minutes. Some nights he'll play 22, 15. It all just depends on what is he doing with his hands. How many fouls is he picking up? Definitely makes for a GPP option, but I will say I'd rather play Anthony Simons over him, who has been balling as well himself. Like the upside and spot for him. Outside of that, DeAndre Ayton. Wasn't too sure if he was going to be rested last time out. Now, look at the minutes. He played 22. He only played 22 because he picked up a whole bunch of fouls. They started Time Lord over him in the second half because of the fouls, and then they just didn't need him. They blew out Indy. Indy was just hot garbage last time. This DeAndre Ayton that we're getting right now, I like it. Love the upside. Like the matchup going up against Sabonis. I would definitely take that all day, every day. And if I'm not mistaken, yeah, when they played them earlier this season, he put up over a fantasy point per minute in both games versus them, dropping 36 fantasy points and 43 fantasy points. 7K for DeAndre Ayton. I will take that today for sure. Outside of that, Denny Avdia, he's been playing really great over his last several games. Yes, last game, 23 minutes, 23, shot 2 of 9. The game was a blowout. I'm not worried about that. It's okay. He still has a very great usage. Last time versus the Kings, he played 37 minutes in that game, dropped 46 fantasy points. I will go right back to the well for Denny Avdia, who is showing me he's a Swiss Army knife and stuffs the stat sheet at 6,600. That's who I would rather play over playing Scoot Henderson. I know he has a very much solidified role, and he's going to play the minutes and be out there. Like it, love the upside, and that's where I would go. Outside of that, Kamara, 6K, kind of a little bit like he's getting up in the price. I would rather just play get a little bit more that I need to get up to Anthony Simons, since they both have the shooting guard eligibility. And then outside of that, maybe Jeremy Grant, 5,600. Looks like his minutes are finally ticked back up to where they should be. Decent, definitely does rely on his scoring, but if you land there, not a bad option and play that I could see myself possibly getting to. On the Golden State Warriors side, still can't believe they made that trade. For me, do need to know if Draymond Green is going to be in or out. I haven't seen anything that truly dictates and says what's going on with Draymond Green. But if Green is out for a fact, then and Tracy Jackson Davis is still out, then we should see some decent minutes for Looney, who has been splitting the minutes and the load anyway. The only other thing that I could say that I would pay attention to is Moses Moody. Of course, he missed last night, didn't play in that game, but he was playing mid 20-ish minutes and putting up some decent numbers. If Green is out, we have seen Moody start at the power forward spot or that small forward spot as well. Wouldn't mind looking towards him as a decent value play, but I would just say Podominski. I think that whether or not if players are in and out, he's gonna have to play minutes. He's one of the young guys. 45 fantasy points, 29 actual points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. That was against Utah, of course, and they lost that game. That's still just crazy. But Pod 4,400. I would definitely, of course, take him over Steph Curry, who finally dropped a 40-something actual fantasy point game, but still not really messing with Curry at 8,200. I can't. Do not play Dennis Schroeder. He is not with the team. Please don't. Please don't. Dennis is not with the team. Andrew Wiggins is not with the team. Do not play those guys. Do not play them. But yeah, I really wouldn't take too much over there from the Warriors. Now, on the Los Angeles Lakers side of things, I definitely would go ahead and try to play some stuff from over here. If Luka is out. If Luka is out still, because if Luka's out, then this is probably one of the last times we get to play. Rui Hachimura, 5,300. Dude has been lights out. He's been killing it over the last several games. 26 minutes, 32 fantasy points, 38, 32, 34, 32, knocking down his 3-ball. Looking very confident. I like the upside for him. Definitely would take him. Dorian Finney-Smith, even though last game he only played 24 minutes, showing me that he can actually get 34 going up against New York. I'll take that. Don't mind that defensive upside and everything that he has. Definitely would be a play. And then, of course, LeBron James. Do we really have to talk about LeBron James? Almost triple-double the game before, almost a triple-double literally versus the Clippers. If the game was actually closer, definitely would have probably had over 65 plus fantasy points out there on the night. But of course, didn't need him. Yeah, okay. Reddick said Wednesday that there's a chance Doncic's calf could return Saturday. So we should not have to worry about Luka, even though it shows on other sites and stuff like that. Probable for him to play. Luka's not playing. Not going to worry about that. Last but not least, over here for me, Austin Reeves, 8,300. Dude, of course, is probably one of the last times we actually get to play this price tag for him, and I wouldn't mind getting to him here in this spot versus the Warriors. This is definitely a upsideable spot that I could see Austin being able to give us a good number. But I will say I would much rather get to like Rui, Dorian Finney-Smith. Those guys are just some immense defense value that I think we can play. And if you think the game blows out and they actually give him some more run, Jackson Hayes, because they're going to be welcoming Mark Williams to town. Like, of course, you go get a lob threat to go with Luka. Just makes perfectly good sense. Like, Mark Williams, I'm really sad that the Hornets made that trade, though, if I can speak on that for a second. Just because I loved his upside, loved his trajectory, loved everything that he actually could have done over there for the Hornets. Thought it was going to be a good fit with him and Melo and everything. Just we did not get to see that actually form and formulate. But definitely pretty good. Honestly, a really good lineup that the Lakers and Pelinka, he salvaged his job as GM. I ain't gonna cap. But Jackson Hayes, still, he's just capped around 25 minutes. That's the only thing that really does suck for him. But I don't mind looking at him just because he can't go out there and give us a fantasy point per minute. In right now, as I'm doing this recording, the Hornets are getting Yusuf Nurkic and a first round pick. These times are getting Cody Martin, Meeshix, Big Meech is going over there, and a second round pick. What are the Hornets doing? It's just like a fire sale right now for the Hornets. Wow. Is Miles Bridges finally going to be on the move? Are we finally going to see Miles Bridges out of... That's crazy. What are they doing? I mean, I guess it's crazy though too for the fact of that the Lakers gave up their rookie. Dawson Connect is their rookie. Granted, going over to the Hornets, not a bad move. Really great because really a starting lineup of LaMelo Ball, Dawson Connect, Brandon Miller. Still, of course, if Miles Bridges is still there, Miles Bridges, and then whatever you can figure out for the center spot as you move on down the line. Okay. But damn. To give up Dalton Connect and the upside that we've seen that kid was going to have over here for the Lakers was huge. Was really huge right there. But damn, that's crazy. That's really going to be it for me over here on the Los Angeles Lakers. Going over to the last game of the night. If you guys haven't done so already, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button for me. Definitely means a lot. Pushes that out there for other people. Drop a like on the video if you guys are actually enjoying the content and everything I'm going over for you guys. All of that, of course, means really a lot to me. Over here on the Indiana Pacers side, Tyrese Halliburton owes a lot of people some redemption. 8,100, but the last game out, 25 minutes, homie only took 3 shots. I hope that when he went to the locker room, they said, come here. What is this? What is it? You took 3 shots. Go stay in the corner. No. Go stay in the corner. Don't say nothing. Because that is bullshit. How do you go out there and only take 3 shots? You are the starting point guard. Yes, cool. You're a great facilitator, but boy, you are the point guard. How the hell we gonna win games if you ain't trying to score? Halliburton owes. And of course, this is a decent spot for him to actually be able to go out here and do such a thing right now, going up against the Los Angeles Clippers, who are kind of in a whirlwind, in a little bit of a spurt from they got Kawhi back, but they're not playing up to par like you would expect for them to play with getting a defensive ace back into the line. Halliburton, definitely a bounce back spot, and I do think that makes for a really great late night hammer. Probably will be low owned from recency bias and everything, and I really do think his upside here today might go like sneakily, like legitimate sneakily, just under the radar. Love the upside. Outside of Halliburton, of course, Siakam, you guys know I've been riding the Siakam wave over the last several games. 7,600 really has been a driving force for this team. Coming from up from 8K, dropping right back down to that 7K range, I will go right back to him. The scoring is there for him. The rebounding has been there. The playmaking, he's been doing that. And he's giving us some defensive stats. Don't mind going to him at that 7,600 price tag. I will take that all day, every day. And then GPP option to me, of course, depending on if anything else happens, we can look towards Mathurin, TJ McConnell, Nembhard. He's been playing really great since he's came back from his injury. You could definitely go there. Been very consistent. Don't mind any of those guys right there. But for me, really, Halliburton owes us the coin. Siakam, I like the upside and the ownership for both the two main studs right over there for them. On the flip side of things, depending on who's going to come out here and actually ball, James Harden, 9K, makes for another beautiful late night hammer. 2 of 12 in his last game. But before that, of course, they've been looking pretty good. 47 fantasy points, 36, 49, 53. I don't mind going back to the Harden right here. If the 3 balls falling, I know he's going to play make. I know he's going to go out there and get his assist. Fast-paced game versus the Pacers. Fast pace. That's the key right there. The pace. I like it. Hasn't played the paces at all yet this season. Should be a good spot for him. And if it's a good spot for Harden, again, fast pace, more points to be scored up and down the court. Norman Powell, this should be a spot for him. He should be able to go out here and pop off, give us a good point number and everything that he's been doing over the last couple games. 6,900, nothing less than 30 fantasy points over his last 5. I can see myself getting Norman Powell if I can't get up to James Harden, and if I do truly want a late night hammer from this game, I don't mind looking towards him as well. And then last but not least, Kawhi hasn't had a big explosion of a game outside of that 39.75 and that 47 fantasy point games right there. But his last couple games, the minutes just necessarily hasn't been there. He's going to play more minutes in a competitive game. Pacers can definitely keep this game close, can definitely make this a game out here for us. I truly do believe that. It's a 6-point spread in favor of the Clippers. I think this game can definitely stay close for us. There should definitely be some turnovers, some rebounds that he should be able to go out there and get. 6,800, good spot for us to get one of these main 3 Clipper players. These main 3 Clipper players. Really great spot to get one of those guys right here. You can look towards Big Zoo. Don't mind that, but I got other centers that I'm really going to focus on for tonight. So I really don't have my eye too much right there. And then Derrick Jones Jr., he's a flyer that you could possibly take. Don't forget that they did get Eubanks, was recently traded over there to them. Maybe he might get some minutes and you can Sparrow, not have to play Big Zoo too much. But, oh, damn. Bears owner Virginia Hale dies at 102. Damn. What was she drinking? 102. Sheesh. Rest in peace. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for me. Hopefully you guys were able to get something from this. If you guys enjoyed the content, of course, like always, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you don't miss anything else that I do put out over here on the channel. Good luck to everybody tonight. Let me know what is the crazy wild trade that you think is going to happen before the deadline happens in the next hour, by the time you guys actually watch this video. Peace.